it just kind of flows right out of your mouth. Beadle Grimms. It's just fun. It's fun to say. It's sexy, right? Well, I don't know if it's sexy, but I'll tell you what is sexy. That Matthew Lillard. I got you, bro.
Join the team.
Hey team, it's theMCGuiRE Review, and today we're going to take a look at Beadle Grimm's brand new box. This is the Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen Steel Edition, which is pretty cool. They have different grades of boxes, and again, this one, for this particular box, they did the Steel Edition, which is pretty cool. We'll get into the box here in a second, but wow. Before we do, you are watching this on March the 25th. No, you're not. You are watching this on March the 31st, which is the release of the Band of Badgers Dragonlance campaign, which will be streaming live on Twitch. And I wanted to have this video today on the Beadle Grimm's Dragonlance box to kind of celebrate that and go kind of hand in hand with our Dragonlance campaign that we are going to be kicking off. Okay, now we're going to get into the brand new Beadle Grimm's Dragonlance. I love how you say that, you know, and I've made note to that before. It just kind of flows right out of your mouth. Beadle Grimm's. It's just fun. It's fun to say. It's sexy, right? Well, I don't know if it's sexy, but I'll tell you what is sexy. That Matthew Lillard. All right, let me. I got excited. I got too excited there. Let me back up a second. So let's look at the box first. Their boxes they do are all, you know, pretty cool. I like the way they did this one. It's the first time I've seen them do. It almost looks like they're kind of a picture that's printed on the front there. You'll see some things on the overhead cam, but it's almost like there's a. After we get in the box, we'll get the bear will hit us with the overhead cam, but there's kind of some trees that are printed in the background. They've got a nice, really high flex silver here with the name and the logo down here. Do have on the side there the name, and then the back is blank, but it does have the print on it of like a tree, and there's like a bird that's sculpted into the side of like a tree. That's what the box looks like. Get the box open. All right, we'll put this right over here. And they do start off every box with one of these little notes. It essentially is a note from the founders as well as what you're going to find in the box. Now, again, this particular Dungeons & Dragons storyline, this is an older one. This is one that is very famous, and it sits very highly with the fans. So I'll read kind of this first little paragraph here that's in the book that'll give you a feel for what you're going to get when you get into Dragonlance. So in 1984, TSR published the first Dragonlance game module, Dragons of Despair, and the first novel, Dragons of Autumn Twilight. For almost 40 years, Dungeons & Dragons and Dragonlance have seemed ideal dance partners, whirling and bounding with a powerful synergy to unlock the imaginations of countless fantasy fans. We here at Beadle Grimm's were actually playing D&D and reading fantasy novels in 1984. Well done. And so have cherished memories of imagining ourselves and our characters riding atop dragons, weapons in hand, embroiled in the war that could only ever be held in a fantasy setting. So this one is a little bit different than some of the other recent box sets. It is based on something that is very near and dear to a lot of fantasy readers' hearts, which is the Dragonlance series. Okay? Let's hit really quick here, and then we'll go through the box. This is not a Platinum level edition box. As you can see, this is the only thing that came with Dragonlance. It's just the smaller form factor box. You know, the Platinums are much bigger. They come with the map tubes. They come with other things. This was the Steel Edition, okay? So there's differences there, and there's obviously differences in price as well. This is a much lower cost product than what a Platinum box would cost. All right, so in the box, Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen, that's this one. They do break up the booklet you can get, the normal Dragonlance book. They break it up into these little chapter books. There are 5 of them here for this one. We've got area maps. We've got dungeon maps. We got battle maps. We got in-hand world handouts. So that's all kind of the normal stuff that is normally included in these boxes. I love to see these editions come with more of these, like area maps, dungeon maps, battle maps. I like it when it comes with a number of those, and there is a number of them. So in battle maps, we've included 12 battle maps of key dungeon areas. dungeon maps, full page version of 14 key dungeon maps. So there's a number of maps that are going to be included in this set, and that's one of the things that I really like. They put a bunch of maps because that's the primary thing that you want to create visually on the table for the players, is those environments, which then you can kind of deck out if you want to with other terrain and whatnot. But having the maps is a critical component in my opinion. Artifacts. There's 4 different artifacts. These are physical, like the jewelry, the coins, the different things they include in their boxes. There's 4 different type in this box. There's a token, there's 2 different types of amulets, and a coin here. And then obviously they have the encounter cards. There's 60 of them. Those are the cards that give you the stats on what you're dealing with, the artwork for the player, and all the stats for the DM. We've got affiliation cards, so we'll take a look at those. It says here, included are 21 deity affiliation cards, so no matter which deity your player's characters follow, you have something to hand to them. So that's going to be nice. Artwork pulled from the book. It also says that it includes an 11 by 17 copy of Siege of Kalaman, so we'll look at that. Bonus encounters. This is something they do. They add in these bonus encounters. There's 3 of them in this set. It says here these encounters have been designed to provide you with additional options for missions for Kalaman Chapter 4 and for encounters while your players explore the Northern Wastes. Nice. Sidekicks. If the players use any of the sidekicks, they've got you covered from a sidekicks perspective, as well as DM aids. And there are 4 different types of DM aids that are going to be included in here. You've got at-a-glance references. You've got Kingfisher Festival games. That's always nice when they give you the tools to run sort of the different fairs or games or vendors or whatever it is within that campaign. Night of Terror, as well as mounted combat. Very important. There's mounted combat, obviously, in Dragonlance. And you're going to get some guides to be able to help you go through the rules for any of that type of mounted combat. So that's pretty cool that that's in there as well. Okay? That's everything we're going to find in the box. We'll start getting some of this paper out. Here's going to be our encounter cards. They're right here. Okay? We'll pop those open here at the end. But we've seen these a number of times in the other boxes we've done. Essentially, you're going to get the artwork on the front. This looks pretty cool. We'll pop it open and look at some of the artwork on the overhead cam. And then here on the back, you're going to get all the stats that you're going to need. Generally what you would see inside of the books for any of those types of encounters. So that's really nice. That's included. Here's going to be some of the little bits, the metal type coins and jewelry and different things that they include. These are amulets. We'll take a look at that here in a second. And then this is going to be a lot of the world handouts. I'm not sure what this is right here, but there's a number of world handouts that are there. Here's going to be a number of maps that are included. And then at the very bottom, what do we got here? At the very bottom, now we've got the Tales from the Warehouse. This is our bonus type adventures that are included. And this is something that Beadle Grimm's actually does themselves, these Tales of the Warehouse. This is not something you can just get in the books. This is their specific adventures they create for these box sets. Those are always really cool. And then you've got the Dragonlance book, which again is made up of 5 different smaller booklets. Here in the bottom, there is something. Okay. Maybe like a little, I'm not sure what this is. Maybe like a little flag or something, but it was at the very bottom of the box here. It wasn't actually in any of the, well, it couldn't have been in the shrink wrap. Probably would have got messed up. So it was sat there at the very bottom of the box. Okay. And then obviously the box insert, they do have this silvery dragon scales on the inside, which is pretty cool. And I actually like it when they do this, because when they do this, if you want to, you can kind of put this out on the table as a thematic dice tray. So you can roll your dice in there if you want to. And you got kind of the dragon scales if you want to do a central dice rolling pool for folks. Okay, so that's everything that we're going to find in the box. We'll set this to the side, and I'll start getting into each one of these items. I'll go ahead and pop the, where's the tiny bone shiv of death? Pull that out. We'll go ahead and pop the books open first. Get in here. Actually, there we go. Get in here. All right, so you can see they are just smaller chaplets. Little chaplets. Chapter books that, you know, and they've got all the art's pulled right from the books. It's got the maps. It's got, you know, it's got everything that you would need. Okay, but it's just in these nice consumable little chapter books with their own sort of artwork in the front of each one, which, I don't know, I just think that's cool. It's a lot easier to digest the material, I find, this way, versus having the full-size book, you know? And depending on where you are, sometimes, you know, you got these appendix-type books that have, you know, tons of, like, monsters and primary things that you might the players might run into, as well as, looks like this one has some there's some artwork in the back, but it looks like there's some sidekick information in the back of this one, as well as different encounters that you would end up going through and hitting. Something like this you might want to have with you at all times. Maybe the first, you know, character creation chapter 1 book you read, but then when you do sessions, then you really only need to probably take just the book or the part of the story that you're currently in. So that makes it a little bit better, I think, just kind of consuming and digesting that stuff as a DM as you go through it. Okay, let's go ahead and get the maps open. I'm really interested to see our maps here and what those look like. Beadle and Grimm's always does such a good job with these battle maps and area maps. They're so cool the way they look, and the graphics are awesome on them, and they're always high quality, and just, you know, you can reuse them for different things. So, which I've done a number of times with things I've run. I've dug into my Beadle and Grimm's boxes and got various different components and maps and different things to even run campaigns that are, or one-shots that are outside, you know, the core box. So this stuff is all highly reusable, and I'm a big fan of that. So this right here, Threshold of the Heavens, and again, you might get a little bit of spoiler here, because I'm obviously doing an unboxing of this, so there might be something that you see that might be a little bit of a spoiler for you. If you feel like it is, I don't know, maybe you can fast forward, but you know, that's just kind of the nature of an unboxing and review video. So this looks pretty cool. Okay, it is made of, I would say this is kind of like your standard D&D map material, although this has got a little bit of a waxier feel to it than I think is probably standard. But as far as the paper quality and thickness, I would say it's about the same as your standard D&D map. But again, it's a little bit more wax feel on there. Okay, here we've got the Blue Mall Cave. Oh, this one should be cool. Yes, it does look cool. And these are all going to be double-sided, so you know, that's where you get your number of maps. They're all double-sided. So this is pretty cool, and I love this art style too. Like, they do follow a pretty consistent art style as well for their maps, and I do really like this art style and look. Okay, look at that. That's cool. Look at all the detail here with like the different rooms, and I love the art style that they're going with here. It's a little bit different than what they've done in some of their maps, but it's perfect for this setting. This looks really good. Okay, next one here we got is the Sunward Fortress. Oh, that's cool. With like the dragon, you've got down here like the it's like a big that looks like Tiamat. Actually, it looks like a Tiamat statue. Got a skeleton there. Very cool, right? That's awesome. So some good caverns that we're getting here in this set, looks like. Okay. I'm not going to go through every single one of these. Let's see if maybe we can get another one here. Here's one with some green on it. It's called the Bastion. This one looks pretty. That's a bigger one too. So this is a little bit of a larger one. And some of them are going to be bigger like that. And then where this one's kind of like a smaller one, right? It's more of kind of just a central area map. This is actually pretty cool. It almost looks like it's in the water, like tables and like a bar that's like in like a pool in like water. And here's another just smaller area that your players would be in. But I love these larger maps they include as well, where you've got kind of that larger outdoor area where you've got quite a bit of distance, where if there's something going on, you can see some stuff from afar and have time, usually a couple different rounds, to be able to. Ooh, look at the purple on that one, to be able to interact with whatever you're going for. All right, so that's going to be a number of the maps. Oh, that was awesome. Okay, love those maps. And then we'll get this one open next. This is going to be a bunch of the world handouts. There might be some more things than that in here. We'll have to see. This is all world handouts. I think it is. Oh, shit! So these right here are going to be like your deity cards. And on the back, you're going to get the information that is about that group. So this is where you can kind of hand to the players, however they're kind of aligned. Here what do we got here? Here's like some blank ones. I'm not sure. Maybe this is like make your own up kind of thing. I'm not sure why there's blank ones. Might have to look. Maybe that's, I didn't see that noted on the sheet, but there are some blank ones. Now we've got what do we got here? This is a quick establishment names. This is more of those like DM handout guides that they talk about. Here we got, what is this? These little booklets. Mission report. Okay, this must be some type of like handout type thing. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. They're probably all the same. Special forces. But yeah, they are. So this is going to be more of an end world handout type thing you're going to give the players that they're going to be able to fill out. Probably some type of like special thing they got to go on, and they got to put in like their mission notes and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. That's always these are always fun type of things when they include those. Here's some more handout type stuff. The organizations, the people of Krynn, the organizations of Krynn, Steel Edition Elements, DM's quick reference guide. Okay, so this is nice. What this does is it's going to tell you essentially what you're going to find very quickly in each one of these chapter booklets. So if there's something specific that you're looking for, you can just kind of pop this open and kind of look through. If there's something that, like after you get so far, if you need to go back and reference something, that's where this is probably going to come into a real good hand to go back and figure out and find what you need. And then these are all going to be in-world handouts. So we've looked at these extensively in each one of the boxes, so I won't drain these, but they're essentially going to be different pieces of paper that you're going to be able to hand to your players, and each one of them usually has a very different feel, texture-wise, as well as like the printing on the paper and everything. They're usually very, very different. One thing I will say, let me go through here real quick here. I mean, yeah, I'm finding at least 4 different types of paper. I haven't seen in the last couple boxes, if I'm correct, and this is more from a review perspective now, it did feel like in their first boxes, these pieces of paper had even more difference between them. Where I'm seeing in the newer boxes, there still is definitely a difference in like paper thickness and quality and type and how it's printed. Is it slick? Is it matte? There's still a difference. Don't get me wrong. There's a difference enough, but in comparison to what they've done in some of their earlier boxes, I just felt like the handouts had more of a variation between them. Now, I will say, to be fair, there's definitely more handouts in the newer boxes than I think there were in the first boxes. I mean, like, look, there's like tons of them. Like, we wouldn't even have time to go through all of them. There's tons of handouts. But I haven't seen in a while those thicker pieces of paper that almost felt like parchment paper that had like the burnt edges and that were all like crumpled up. I mean, it literally seemed like someone took a piece of paper and hand crumpled it up and then flattened it out and put it in the box, right? I mean, it was to that much of like feeling realistic as a note that you would just find maybe laying out in the woods or something, or on an old desk with a half-lit candle, or something like that you would create. Where these are more straightforward, like just pieces of paper. None of them really look crimpled or cut or broke or ripped or anything like that. And again, maybe that's just going to kind of the style of what this box setting is, but it's something that I think is fair to note that I personally like those pieces of paper that are super thick and feel super real, or actually paper that is already rolled up in a little, scroll with a little thing tied around it. I've seen that before. That stuff just adds even more to the thematic feel of what you're doing as you go through the game. Here is a giant area map. It is only one-sided. It's not double-sided. So it's got the entire continent there that you're going to be dealing with for your campaign. Nice, awesome picture of Tiamat over here. This is pretty awesome. I love the artwork on this. This looks great. This map is really sick. I love the way this looks. The sepia feel that it has, the color pattern that they chose. This looks awesome. And this is a great visual to kind of get out near the beginning of a campaign, or while players are traveling from point A to point B, to kind of give them a sense for the scale of where they're traveling and how long it takes and all that kind of stuff. So really like this world map. This is a good one. This, from a review side, this is probably one of the best world maps that I've seen in a while. This is an awesome, awesome map. Okay. What is this? What is this? Oh, what is this? This is a giant picture. There's usually more of these. So, let's see. So here's the airborne mounts. Here's the DM guides. And then, Night of Terror, that's a DM guide. Okay, so it looks like they've included... this is the sidekick stuff, so that's what this is. So these are all the stats and the things on the sidekicks that you can get. We'll put that out there. I don't know why there's only one of these, but there's only one of these, and essentially it tells you, Chapter 7, page 28, 29, the Siege of Kalaman, and then you can put this piece of artwork out, I guess maybe just to represent it. Maybe in this set it only made sense to have one of these. And you can see that here. These continue these maps. Now, I'm loving what they did here. These are usually just paper maps, and these are actually lightly laminated. All right, getting into the final package here. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this. This excites me. Okay, pull these out. We've got 4 different pieces in this steel edition, and then this. Well, okay, here's the smaller ones. So this is what I was talking about. Like, they got that bigger one. Here's the smaller ones that they normally include. And here they are. Which just kind of show, like, they basically show an environment that you'd be dealing with, or like maybe a little interaction you'd be having. And then on the back here, it tells you, and they didn't have this, they always didn't have this like this. It tells you on the back exactly what it is, and then the location that you're going to find this, which is critical. And it says here, location, chapter 1, page 5, for this right here. So that's, as you're going through as a DM, then you're going to have these, and you're going to be like, oh, that's that part in the book, and you can set it out for your players. You just set it out in front of your DM screen, or you hang it over your DM screen, whatever you want to do. And then the players get a little bit of a sense of the art and kind of the environment that they're interacting with. Anything that you can add to that visual perspective is definitely helping kind of with that theater of their mind as you're going through the game. So, number of those, okay? Here is our final thing we're going to look at, which is the pieces of jewelry. This is going to be a amulet. So, it has a little hanger there where you can put this on a necklace. Now, there was not a necklace included. There was not, and there has been in some sets. Usually those are the higher price sets. You'll get the full necklace and everything. So there was not a chain or anything included, but again, I mean, you can just use your own little chain or a little piece of leather or something like that if you want to already put that on there for your players. Or if it's something that the players acquire and you wear that amulet, it's like you can give the players the amulet and then maybe they show up the next week and it's on a necklace, right? Whatever. There's lots of different things you can do there. That one's really cool, and these are always very heavy, high graded, chunky pieces of jewelry or coin or whatever it is. They're always a really high quality piece. They've got nice enamel paint. This one's painted. Ooh, I really like this one. It's got like it's got a really cool like matte feel to it. You have to look at that on the close cam there. It's really cool the way that they did that matte paint on there. It looks super awesome. Okay, and then there is a coin. There's two different types of coins. This one's got like a head on the, like a face, and a it's got a guy with a face and a griffin on the other side. And then our final coin here, this is called Esquire of Kalaman. Yeah, this is not the box coin. There is generally a coin of completion that is in these boxes. It doesn't look like this one in particular has one of these coin of completions. Let's see here. No, that coin is, I believe that is this coin, Esquire of Kalaman. Now, when the adventurers are recruited to become Esquires of Kalaman, hand them this token of recognition. So you'll get this token of recognition when you become an Esquire of Kalaman. And then there's a coin, and then the two amulets. So no, this box set does not include one of their coins of completion. That is a special Beadle and Grimm's circular coin they make that has the name of the box set and everything on it. This one didn't come with that for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'll ask them that question, but this box set did not come with a coin of completion. So that's everything that you're going to get in the box set. Obviously, we did some work with the overhead cam as we were doing this, so you could see a lot of the materials up close as we went through it. But as you can see, this is a ton of stuff within these box sets. And I do like when they do these box sets that are just absolutely packed out with all this stuff. And this one's pretty packed. I mean, you can see how much stuff is in front of me here for this Dragonlance campaign. There is just a number of things, as well as all these maps and all the different like sidekick stuff and the DM guides and just the artwork and the encounter cards. I mean, everything you're going to need to run through that campaign effectively as a DM is going to be in one of these box sets. One thing I like to always say with these is it doesn't have to be just the DM taking it upon themselves to carry the cost of one of these boxes. I think you're getting a pretty damn good value here with the Steel Edition, but what a great present from the players as well, right? You got 4 or 5 players around the table. Everybody pitches in and gets the DM this fantastic box set for the upcoming campaign, where then the DM can then use all this stuff. And even from that perspective, if everybody's paying, maybe it's not something that the DM just packages all back up. Maybe it's something that people even get to walk away with specific types of items as you earn those and gain those over the course of gameplay. Okay, so again, Beadle and Grimm's brand new Dragonlance box set. Don't forget, tonight is the first run of the live Band of Badgers Dragonlance series. Team, keep rolling them crits. This has been the McGuire Review, and I'll see you next time.